All right, so this is primarily a music update. For a while now, I wanted to start another music project. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I was experimenting with different things and it didn't really work out. But as you know, before I move on to the next thing, got to finish what I started. So I will be releasing the third Saturday for Skydiving album. I'm deciding to release it on my birthday, considering, this project was personal and it just makes a lot of sense considering that we're going to be pretty close to my birthday soon, which is September 8th. And yeah, if you remember any of the videos of me talking about these albums, I mentioned that the third album, to me, I still think is the best album out of all three in terms of recording quality. With the for the first two albums, I felt like I was still trying to figure things out. With the third album, I feel like things have been figured out. It's definitely the most consistent out of the bunch, and it feel like there's more confidence in that album. I don't want to spoil a whole lot regarding the albums. Like the first album was probably the most reflective. The second album had some more antagonistic tracks, which would like express more of an anger. And I also think I talked about that too, how each album conveys different emotions, but specifically, I with this album, I didn't know what necessarily I wanted to do. I didn't really have an idea of like what I wanted to talk about. Everything kind of just came at once. And in terms of the storytelling, it's kind of a bit of everything. Despite like I don't mention anything from the second album, but it has that reflectiveness. It has that antagonistic, angry vibe too. And when I asked ChatGPT what like game that you could compare the album to, they said Life is Strange, which I'm not surprised. And in terms of the themes that are mentioned, so if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. In terms of merch, I've had some different ideas. I'm regarding like the next music project. I don't think anything's gonna change necessarily. I feel like everything's kind of set in stone, and in terms of my I do have specific ideas for the merch for this last Saturday for Skydiving album. I'm not gonna do like the last time and make a merch per every song because there's only 7 songs on this album, and I think I'm just gonna get as much as what looks good as much as I can, and then just use that. Um, in terms of what to expect, I've had a lot of thinking to do, because a lot of the audience that likes my music, I tend to just gauge off of Audiomack, considering that Audiomack gets the most like listeners, and you can go by the stats on that stuff. Not a lot of people, everybody kind of just comes to my channel for the videos, and whenever the music happens, it's kind of like just a music era where it's like you'll get your views whenever you release the album, but after that, not a lot of people will come back to it, which is fine. Whole reason why I like having my music on a platform. And what I've gathered from that is that I'm glad to see that my favorite project out of the bunch, which was Lucas from Afar, is the one that's getting more attention. At the start, it was What Was Once Great, which made a lot of sense because it was the most concise. However, I guess a lot of people just like the experimental side of Lucas from Afar. And going into this next project, it's going to have a specific kind of commentary to it. I don't know necessarily if I am going to include singing. I do want to do more just focusing on the music side of things, and that's kind of... I do want to also use samples to convey the message that I'm providing with this project. It's going to be experimental like Lucas from Afar. It's going to have the base, whatever you came whenever you expect from Turtle Pond or What Was Once Great, that's going to be there too. I guess really to expect just a lot of everything, to expect everything from my past projects. Not counting the one-off stuff. Well, I mean, there will probably be a little bit of influence from the one-off stuff, but for the most part, like Turtle Pond, Lucas from Afar, What Was Once Great, and even Sad Day for Skydiving / Torn postcards, as I want to take what I've learned from all those projects and create something new. And that I'm really excited to do that. It makes me the most excited to start another project with that idea in mind, starting a whole new thing and covering new territory, but also some familiar territory as well, as that's what I love about music. Now that being said, I don't know what else to talk about in terms of the channel. There'll be a waiting period. If I return to reviews, I'll return to reviews, but for now, I really just want to focus on my music, as that's what I'm inspired to do at this moment in time. I had plans for some other stuff like short form content and all that, but I think everything's just gonna be put to the side. I'm inspired again to do music, so that's what I'm going to focus on. And I hope you're as excited as I am. So yeah, the third album, originally, I don't know if I dropped the name or if I was still trying to figure it out whenever I put out that video talking about Sad Day for Skydiving, but the original plan was going to be, it was going to be called Cause and Effect. But regarding I'm done with this whole seriousness stuff. As much as I love listening to serious music, I hate making it, as it's like, I don't like this reflection stuff. I mean, whenever I release it and, if people like it, then good for them. That's the whole reason why I made it. It's more just like a venting process, but I'm done with that. In terms of like it was gonna be kind of just I don't know, it's kind of like a woe is me thing, and that's kind of what Sad Day for Skydiving really was. It was just woe is me, but actually, I know for the most part that's pretty much what it is. It's woe is me, and if I'm not antagonizing people. But I felt like what made more sense was, considering the inconsistency of the like track list and the topics on this third album, I thought it just made more sense to be called Done with the Past, because that's what I'm done. I'm done with the past. I'm done talking about the past, singing about the past. This next project is going to be focusing on the future, focusing on the present actually, but more the present and the future. Can forget about that high school stuff, forget about trauma and all that, because that's not important anymore. So expect the release for Done with the Past on September 8th, 1 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also wish me happy birthday whenever the album releases, and I will keep you updated whenever I'm ready to. If you like the idea of me having a video kind of explaining what to expect for the next project, I can do that. There will obviously be a retrospective on Sad Day for Skydiving whenever the time is done. More specifically, I think I'll release that video whenever I'm done with the next music project. I think that should just give it some room to breathe. But yeah, I can do a video like that. Normally, I don't like the idea of kind of just releasing something and just you having to figure out what it's about. As much as that's kind of the norm when it comes to music nowadays, it feels like it's not my type of thing. I just like to explain the idea first, and then you can, if you disagree and have your own thoughts on it, that's fine. But I don't know, leaving it up to interpretation like that and just like releasing it, it's just that's not my thing. I don't like that idea. But yeah, new music to come soon. Peace.